Jump! Jump! Righty-ho, folks. How is everyone doing? Alright. Brisket might be a little bit skittish today because he's had to face the monstrous vacuum cleaner and the compressor today. Not against him, just in his general area. So he's been a bit skittish. It was also his birthday yesterday, so everyone say hi. Happy birthday, Brisket. Also, hey Thomas, hey Jose, hey Daniel, and hey Alexander.
Hey everyone.
Oh, and hey Hans. Never forget Hans, never forget Hans. Right, so, about an hour before stream, I tried to get the anti-backlash nuts sorted for stream. Unfortunately, the spring washers that LDO sent are not the greatest replacement for the conical washers that I spec'd before. And some of them have arrived completely flat as well. They don't actually have the spring in them. Hey Takuya! Takuya's from the Voron team, if anyone's wondering. So, say hi to the Voron guys. Yep. So, the springs that they sent us came a bit flat. And it's causing some issues. So, I'm just reprinting some of the backer plates for the anti-backlash nuts. And we're going to try with some conical spaces that I have left over. Got a link to the correct one. They should be in the bomb that I sent LDO. Yeah, they're definitely in the bomb that I sent LDO because I used AcU. I get the ones from AcU. What's up, Brisket? What are you doing? You having fun with your money? So, plan is today is to continue on with the Y-axis, hopefully get it done. I know we said this last stream, but you know what? Who knows? Takuya, you sent me a message earlier, and I kind of gave you a vague reply, but that's because I was just about to get on stream, and I didn't want to spend too much time. So basically, the reasons we don't use, the reason I think that the ball screws on V2 aren't the greatest idea is basically because it comes down to the fact that the ones that can fit in a typical C-beam are 0802 ball screws, and the lead on them is 2 millimeters, which means that by the time you get up to a feed rate that you can do 3 or 4 flute tooling with, you're running into the upper limit of the RPM of the stepper motors. So if you want the benefits of ball screws, you're kind of limited to just doing single flute work, where you're moving at like 1,000 millimeters a minute max. If you got bigger ball screws, like the ones we're putting on Atlas, the 1204s, or the 1210s, depending on whether or not some stuff in the background goes well. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Hands over there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. When you get bigger ball screws, it's not too much of an issue because you're only halving the feed rate rather than quartering it compared to TR8 lead screws. Hey, Straw Dog, how you doing, bud? How are you doing? So yeah, we're just gonna continue on with what we were doing last time, basically presetting the anti-backlash nuts to begin with. The one for the Z's already done, but I need to do the ones for the... Ah, bummer. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, well, it's the annoyance we have taking on such a small CNC machine. Doing the design for Atlas has been really easy comparatively. Like, if you're thinking of the percentage of work that I complete in like an hour on Atlas compared to Milo, the Atlas dev goes so much faster. It's so much faster because you don't have to do all these tricks and things to get it to all fit in the same space. Hey, Olmagand, timer started. Perfect. Perfect. Brisket's decided to lie down. I'm just going to move his camera so you can actually see him. Or not. That camera is stuck in place. Oh, Brisket, I'll just have to bribe you. Yeah, bigger is definitely better in that regard. Yeah, sometimes making things small is harder. Hey Viking, timer's 4 minutes late. How dare you, Jormungand, be 4 minutes late with the timer? Yeah. I also...
I don't think these ball screws or anti-backlash nuts are, really tight.
Yeah, that's definitely not tight.
Yeah, I guess I need to reach in some place, maybe.
Sorry I couldn't join last stream. It was simply too late and it was too busy. That's alright, don't worry, bud. I know that not everyone can join every stream. The time starts exactly when I decide it starts. That reminds me of the Gandalf meme. A wizard is never too late or too early. He is precisely on time every time. Also, Takuya, one thing that we found out in testing is the backlash that we were getting from a properly tuned anti-backlash nut was within the same realm as the ones that we were getting from the ball screws. Yes, they were cheap ball screws. They were AliExpress. They were probably like a C10 ball screw, to be fair. But that's realistically what people are going to get when they self-source anyway. So, in terms of backlash, the two were pretty much the same. You saying I'm old? No.
I mean, I can say from my limited testing that the backlash on the C5 graded ball screws is really good. I haven't even been able to properly really measure it.
Oh, is that on the 1210s?
Oh yeah. The 1210s are C5 ground ball screws.
Oh, you got ground ball screws. Oh.
Oh yeah, I got ground ball screws.
Oh, I thought.
And yes, I used a hammer to install ground ball screws.
Oh, yes. You said this last stream, and I just got. Why? Why are you using a hammer? Why are you using a hammer to install ball screws?
I think my phone just lost my.
Especially ground ones. Yeah, your mic was a bit shaky. You're still with us. We can still see you. Oh no, he's frozen. Hans is frozen. Someone clip it, quick. There we go, he's back.
Ah, nice. Somehow Discord dropped my earphones. I don't know how.
It's okay.
Where did I put my...
OG14, Brisket's is down here by my feet. Like, see if we can bribe him to come on camera. You can kind of see a paw in the top camera, just there. You can see his paw. He tends to stay next to me when I'm doing stream. I have to bribe him with biscuits and things just to get him to stay in frame for the beginning of stream. Do you also think of us as Waldorf and Statler here? What? Oh, it's just young again. Waldorf and Statler, are they Sesame Street or Muppets? I always forget. See if we can bribe him some more to get on camera. There you go. The bribes have been placed, but not far enough away from his face to get him to actually get up. Yes, he took the bait. Nice. Muppets. Nice. In case I get annoyed on stream, I've had a fairly annoying day and I'm just in a bad mood, so hopefully stream doesn't go too badly today. Just in case anyone's wondering why I was in a slightly worse mood than usual. Just had some shit going on in my life.
Hopefully we don't run into any issues other than these little sprinklets.
Has your mic changed? Because I can barely hear you. It's quite muffled.
Oh yeah, I'm on my earphone mics right now because the clip-on mics didn't fit, but I can try to fit them now that I have fixed the thing here. Right? Let me stop this shit.
Oh, sorry.
Maybe.
There we go. It's because he disconnected the call. Whenever he disconnects the call, I have to redo his camera.
Is it better now, Jack?
The mic's the same. It was just the camera that.
Because I changed to my clip-on mic, so it shouldn't be this. Wait, let me return. Maybe that. Oh yeah, you will need to fix me again.
Just fixed it and he's gone.
And I'm back. Is the mic better now?
No, but just it's fine. We can survive.
I mean, now I changed to the clip-on mics. I don't know what's going on.
Have you checked it in Discord?
Not yet. Might do that in a second. Let me install this V2 insert. I actually had printed some spare plates for the stream, so now
nice.
I prepared.
Alright. Alright, Brisket hates this part, so beware, you may hear a barking dog soon. So UDM with an interesting extrusion, no idea if you know about this. Is it the C-shaped extrusions? The ones that everyone keeps sending me for a gantry? I've seen them, there is somewhere in Europe, I think. I've seen them before. I would check Discord, but Hans is currently on Discord, so I'll check my phone. Yeah, I've seen them. Everyone keeps sending me them. The problem is they're fairly geographic, and I can't find. I asked a few people from China to look for them, and they can't seem to find them. They seem to be only sold by that one company. Hard to mount as well. Like you said. Also, the whole point of the C shape is to make it as rigid as possible and save on material, but like, you're building a CNC machine, you don't want to save on material. The more material you put in there, the more it will be able to resist vibration. As a rule of thumb, obviously that's not always the case, but as a rule of thumb.
Thank you, product, by the way. Took a while for them to deliver the camera tracker, but finally it's here.
Yep, it's an interesting concept, sure, but it's not as refined as it should be, in my opinion. Yeah, no, I agree with you. If you're in one of the locations where you can get it, I wouldn't say no to it. Like, I can probably get it in the UK if I paid the import tax on it, but I don't want to, and also it means that it's the whole war on ethos. If I can get something but you can't, then I'm not going to design with it, because it makes everyone's life harder. It makes everyone who can't get those parts lives harder. Think. I'm really having issue with these assemblies today. Don't know why. The first time I built them, and every time after that, they've been fine, but they've been really painful to do recently. If you ever do, if anyone's building V2 in chat, or a V1.6, if you ever do run into this issue, what I find sometimes can help is if you take the brass insert nuts out and rotate them by 90 degrees, it can sometimes just make the threads line up a little bit cleaner. So I'm going to give that a try. 100% part availability is a huge thing, especially with CNCs. Yeah, this is why, obviously, like, there's some stuff that's non-standard on Milo, but we do try and reuse as much of it as we can for other designs. So if you have a look at the Atlas photos that are in like the main Atlas channel on the Discord, these are the V2 beds. Well, sorry, fixture plates. It is technically also the bed for Miley. Instead of making a bigger fixture plate that fits Atlas, we just decided to make Atlas double this size, so you can just have two plates next to each other. So yes, it's technically a non-standard part, but LDO will be manufacturing enough of them that it brings the cost down quite significantly, and the Atlas bed size will be that. Also, I'm going to have to rethink blind joints for Atlas, because if I wanted to do blind joints, the extrusions I have to get are the thick wall ones. The really thick wall ones, like, do I have a piece knocking about here? Like, these are the extrusions that we use for Atlas. If you have a look at them, it's M10 on the inside, and the walls are like, I don't know, 8 mil thick. And these are expensive. So, the frame that I currently have spec'd out for what's it called? Where's my measuring stuff is in the other room. Oh no, here's my calipers. The frame for Atlas is I was a bit off. It's 5 mil thick walls. 5 mil thick walls on these. Whereas the normal extrusion, the Bosch stuff, is 2 or 3 mil. And yes, that does make it better, but it's hard to get those extrusions in some places. And the Bosch ones you can't blind joint. Unless, Takuya, do you have any suggestions on that? Because I know you've worked with 40 series before. No, I forgot to tighten all these up. Seen those automatic connectors from Item? No, I haven't. I have not, actually. Do you want to send me a link on Discord? I'll have a look at them. Plenty sizes. Cool. Yeah, if you wanted those 5 mil thick wall ones, where you technically don't need rolled T-nuts or anything like that for them, because you can just drill through the wall and they'll be fine, and tap the wall. The problem is that if you mess up one of the drill locations, then it becomes a little hard to fix them. That's kind of the same. It's a little bit more forgiving with blind joints. Automatic fastening sets. Ooh, okay. What on earth? Okay. Okay. I don't quite understand how those work. Oh, okay, so it actually threads into the channel. That's really cool. They have a left-hand thread, and you basically torque them into the extrusion slot, screw through the back, insert before, fit after, and then a T-nut into counter extrusion pattern. That's really cool. I like that. I'm not too sure whether I'll spec them because they might be really expensive. But I've been having a look at the way RatRig does a lot of jointing on the 3030 series extrusions. And it's not blind jointed, it's just counter bores. And I think that'll be a little bit cheaper just to do a counterboard version of it. But I'll definitely look into those connectors and see what I can do. Because if they end up being cheaper than having counterbores, they might be good to go. Are those the ones you're using for your little project? Also, How are you getting along, Hans? I'm struggling here. So
I'm screwing.
You're screwing. You're screwing. Yeah, I think I'm going to be the one who's behind on stream today, by the sounds of it.
Damn.
I swear, if we...
I never thought that would happen.
I know. It's the world's gone topsy-turvy, inside out.
Yeah. I'm in Logic. Whatever you do with Atlas, I have a dream. When there is like a beta version of it, I dream about making myself an Atlas bed. Like right now my mattress is just on the ground, so I'm planning to like put an Atlas under it and like prop it up at my feet, and then like have the third CNC machine in my bedroom. But it would be actually my bed too. It's an amazing thing.
Yeah. Does the material matter?
My first thought when I saw Atlas.
Oh, cool. Sorry, just answering. Stainless versus chrome vanadium steel. I honestly could not tell you. The ones I use are stainless, so I don't know. I think chrome vanadium is a little bit less bouncy. Like it doesn't have. It's a little less springy. Sorry, not bouncy. Why did I say bouncy? I'm not a child.
I'm really playing this, or praying this Grease will help me get this screw in, even if the compression plate is a little bit blunt again.
This is why I printed these compression plates in 100% infill. I didn't want to have to deal with that stress from before stream started.
Yeah.
These can still work in the same way that the what's it called ones work. You know, the V1.5 ones, where it's just two nuts squished up against each other. These can still technically work that same way, if you can't get them to work the way that they're intended. There we go. Alright, and if I take these screws, if I untighten these screws entirely now, will that stay put? Resist making adult jokes. You don't need to resist, you can let it all hang out round here. Giggity. Alright, that's not too bad. It's a little loose, but that's what she said. There we go, that's a lot better. To the left or the right. Awesome. Right, that's pretty good. Nice. That's at least the Y-axis one done. Yeah, Jose. I think the reason the wave washers that you gave me last time, the LDO supplied last time, worked. I think the reason those worked when we started them to 3 was because it was the plastic deforming. It wasn't actually the springs loading back, because a lot of these washers have now flattened out after being under compression for so long. And they're just washers now. They're not spring washers. Like, it does work. Like, the Z-axis one is still tight, right? It's still tight. It's still below the maximum torque that we supplied for them, that we spec'd them for. The reason we have a maximum torque is just because we want the motors to be able to move the axis at a certain rate. And if they don't meet that rate, then it means that they're too tight. And if they're too tight, A, it means that they're going to wear down a lot quicker. And B, it means that you're going to have more resistance when it comes to trying to get higher feed rates. Cool. So this printer's just finished. Your camera keeps going all over the place. I love it.
Oh yeah, because it's following me. So when I go to get the little screw that like popped out, then it's following me. So it's going all over the place.
How do you find it? I had it on my obs bot for a while. And I thought it was going to be a great thing to have it be able to follow me around the room. It got so disorientating.
Man, I'm not really looking at myself, so I cannot tell, but...
Oh, this Resistance is futile. Oh, that reminds me. Has anyone ever played Resistance? Like the mid-2000s kind of semi-horror action game? That was a good game. Just ordered a set for my build, but they only had 0.5 and 0.8 thickness. So I got the thicker ones. The 0.5 ones will be fine. I was on the PS3. Was it not on Xbox as well? It was a good game. 0.5 ones will be fine. Honestly, it just means that you have less overall... You technically get a little bit less overall travel, which means that you get less wear that it can adjust for. Because the whole point of the spring-loaded ones is they don't only do adjustment for anti-backlash, they also do adjustment for wear of the screw. So if the screw starts to wear down, or the nut starts to wear down, there's a little bit of travel that they can make in order to compensate for that wear a little bit. Obviously, it's not the best thing in the world, but yeah. Well, too late. The 0.8 should be here tomorrow. Cool. Yeah. Well, whilst you're here, I might as well tell you how I stack them. So, there is a specific way you want to stack them, and there's a very good reason for it. So, if you have a look at where these back pieces, obviously these are pull-through brass inserts, but they also act as a backing that resists the edge of the spring washer. Right? So the edge of the spring washer is actually over where you can just see it there, over where the brass insert is. Right? That stops it from eating into the plastic. And then it's the same on the other side. So you want to stack them with the cone parts facing against each other. So you get a slight gap in the middle. Just like that. And then on this side, it's the same concept. The brass inserts are just touching the outside. Well, let's go like this. Just touching the outside of that brace. And that stops it from eating into the plastic. One of the issues I had with the spring washers is you can't tell them where they bite into them, because they just they sit where they sit, and they have 2 points of contact rather than the entire disc being a point of contact. So what ended up happening was they just ate into the plastic and bent the plastic. There was no load distribution there. Do you have any idea why they chose those spring washers instead? Because I sent them the link to. They're the same ones that are in the CAD, and they are the same ones that are in the bomb that I sent. But LDO decided on spring washers. Is that just to make it cheaper? Was it a supply thing that they couldn't supply them in China, or I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out why they sent those instead of the ones I spec. I honestly have no idea. Fair enough. Shit, just noticed the timer run out ages ago. Oh no. It's alright, Jormungand. Your name literally is based off of a snake that eats its own tail at the end of time to restart time. So you can just restart the timer. Does not look like a huge price difference. No, I don't know. Jormungand, you had one job. You had one job. Thomas, are you multi-streaming tonight? Are you also watching Daniel stream? Thomas is in every single stream that ever happens on 3D Printing YouTube. He is everywhere, all the time, all at once. Procurement probably misclicked when ordering. Yeah, well, it happens. It happens. Always just zapping on the other screen. Nice. If the stream ends, don't forget to tell people to come over to ours. I need to message Nero actually. I need to ask him if he, because I think the way YouTube raids work is you have to follow each other at the end of a stream or something like that. It's weird. It's not the same way the Twitch one works. Oh, thank God for that. This one feels like it's going to work out first time. I can feel it just wanting to go the thread together. Oh, didn't even have to use the drill that time. Right,
I mean, at
instantly
least mine doesn't. Oh, never mind. It does move by itself. Fucking. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm just going to queue up 100% infill plates too. This is yeah. Like, look at this. This is. I don't think this is how it should work.
Yeah, I know. If you do
my ball screws were like this, but yeah.
On ball screws, it's different. Ball screws are tuned to have a certain. Ball screws are actually tuned to have a certain amount of backlash. Believe it or not, guys. It's called preload. The lower preload ball screws you get, the more backlash they tend to have.
Yeah, 1 second. I'm just going to wash my hands and queue up printf.
He's catching you up, Hans. You better get packing. I've just done my second one. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to move on to the next step. I am actually ahead of Hans. I started the stream behind him, and now I'm ahead of him. Whilst Hans goes and queues up another.
Yeah, but I do blame my plates because I had like 2 plates bent on me. So yeah, it's the plate's fault, you know.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Carpenter blaming his tools. Right. Now we get to do the fun stuff.
Do I know if it was a good idea to preheat my printer again?
Okay. So we're going to need some pins, some placement pins. So, if you've built V1.5 before, you'll know that the screws are quite tight going into the fixture, the export plate. There's not very much wiggle room. I wanted to have as much clearance as possible so that you can adjust everything in place if you needed to. So XY tram, stuff like that. So the way I decided to get around that is by making the clearance on all the holes 0.5 millimeter. So these will move around quite a lot, but there are slots in the plate for whenever the AB nuts touch the plate. There's a pin that slots into these slots and onto the slot at the bottom of the AB nut. That also transfers a lot of the kind of linear force along the entire plate and along the AB nuts in the correct directions. So I will find those pins. They're a bit fiddly to install, but honestly, if you've ever built a Voron and done kind of bearing stacks whilst trying to also install the gantry parts, it's not anywhere near as fiddly as that one. Printers need preheating, don't they? Only get cold when the sun is extinguished. The sun is never extinguished though. The sun's always going. It doesn't just fall out of the sky, Jormungand. You know this. Just because it goes behind the hills. Oh wait, Denmark. You don't have any hills. I forget that bit. Also, why so many? What? We need 3 of these, and there's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sent. Jose. Alright, I'm gonna go onto the bomb just to double check this, but I'm pretty sure I spec'd maybe like 4 or 5 so that you had extras. That's prize. Right. M5. No, I did spec 8. Why did I spec 8? Why did I spec 8 of these pins? I'm wrong. You're right. I'm wrong. You're right. I got my share of moles this season. Mole hills are also hills. Fair enough. Alright. I've got to check the cat.
I should have my...
Oh no, don't worry. You continue saying what you were saying.
Yeah, I just wanted to stay in around 20 minutes or so. 25. I should have my 100% infill AB plate. I mean, I even set it to 0% part cooling, so I'm doing everything so it will be very strong. It's even made of ABS glass fiber, so hopefully this will hold. I really hope.
The ABS glass fiber makes it less strong. That's
what I have on hand, so... I mean... Other than that, I can print it out of PLA, but I don't think that will go well.
Honestly, PLA would probably be a good option for it. Honestly speaking, yeah, it's PLA, like, if you're looking at all the unfilled polymers, PLA is the stiffest. And for a part like this, it would probably actually be the better thing to print it out of. The only reason we do ABS is because ABS doesn't creep as much, but creep shouldn't be an issue because the parts that are actually in contact and under tension are all metal. You're just using that PLA part as a housing. So really,
I mean, I do have my Eva Mini stitching printing nothing, so I can move a PLA one as well.
Honestly, yeah, go ahead.
Right? And I mean, if the ABS glass fiber and the PLA one doesn't work, I'm just winging it with carbon fiber nylon, and if that doesn't work, I go.
Oh no, nylon's probably the worst one to use.
Nylon is maybe.
The carbon fiber makes it stiffer and makes it easier to print, but it's still not a good. It's still not a stiff filament. Like the base polymer itself is technically a flexible. It's technically a flexible filament. It's almost. It's 1 degree of separation away from TPU.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nylon's a great material. It's just not great in structural applications that need either compressive or loads or tension loads where you don't want to see any elongation. For things like the body of power tools or toys, like a lot of chew toys, things that see an impact if they drop, nylon's great for that. Look at all climbing ropes. All climbing ropes are made of polyamide, which is what nylon is. What about PC? PC is somewhere between PLA in stiffness and PETG in layer adhesion. PETG is one of the best materials in terms of layer adhesion, compared to the raw polymer, right? PLA technically has a worse layer adhesion in terms of a percentage of the base polymer strength, but it still has better strength in the layer direction than most PETGs do. And I think people forget that kind of fact. Like, just because it has a better percentage of the total yield strength of a certain material doesn't mean that the other materials that you're comparing it to aren't vastly better to it. Watch Thomas and
Come on, Jormungand. He's cat size. Like, look at him. He's pretty cat size.
Right.
Not playing.
Right. You play with your cat. I think you're just gonna have to catch up on next time. We're gonna have to either wait for you to finish your thing. Your thing? We're gonna have to wait for you to finish your print.
Print?
Yeah. And I'll just get on with the rest of stream. You happy with that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have a choice. I need to wait for it.
Yeah. And we're really behind on stream so far. Like we haven't even finished the Y-axis. We haven't even finished the Y-axis yet. Right.
Yeah. I mean, nothing really wanted us to go really fast. Like, neither UPS, neither risky chewing on the Ethernet cord or traffic. Everything just wants to slow us down, I swear.
Yeah. Yeah. Everything wants to slow us down. Okay. So for the top pieces, depending on whether or not you're using the thread version, which is the lead screw version, or whether or not you're using the ball screw version, the grease nipple needs to point in one of two directions. So for this side, which is the top of the plate, it's the same orientation that if you look down at the bottom right of your screens, right? The nipple needs to be facing to the right. And then we use the same screws that we used earlier when we were doing the compression plates to hold everything down to the XY plate now. And this whole assembly can get quite unwieldy, so I'm going to move some stuff around in just a second, but I'm just going to make sure that these are semi-secure for now. What's your cat called? You never actually told me.
Scotty.
Say that again? You cut off.
Scotty.
Oh, Scotty. Or else it's a 76 part build series. Yeah. I may say the next stream, which will not be tomorrow, but maybe the day after. So on, what day are we today? Are we Tuesday today? No, we're Wednesday today. So on Friday, I might say I'm gonna do just a solo stream, just to get us caught up a bit, if that's all right with you, Hans. And then you can join us again for when we do the X-axis. Just because I know LDO's waiting on this, and otherwise it's just gonna take a while. It's just gonna take too long. Never stop a man who continues to make progress, no matter how slow. I would generally agree with you, but in this case, these are test parts that we're doing for someone else, so there needs to be a time limit on them. Awesome. Right. So that looks about right. Tighten everything down. And for now, I'm just going to remove the Y-axis assembly that we've done up to now. Up until now. Just because this is going to start to take up a lot of space. And then I need to make sure that the nipple is in the grease nipple is in the right orientation for the bottom piece now. Right. What is the orientation that we want for this? We want, I think the grease nipple needs to face us this time. So if we do that. Yeah. Yeah, so the grease nipple would need to face me this time. And then we take the X-axis one, and we do the same thing. And this time, if you ever built a V1.5, you know there's a build order that you have to do it, because some of the screws you can't access once it's all together. This time, I thought a little bit, and now I don't know why I made the X lead screw nuts so wide. It never needed to take up the whole plate space. Alright, so you can actually access the screws from the top now. Woo. I feel like any second now, Hans is just going to start running a commentary, just a running commentary on what I'm doing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything else to do. I'm just throwing the cat's toy because he's super active again.
Perfect.
I was literally playing with him for the whole day while I was working from here, and he's still yeah. I cannot even talk. He wants to play a lot.
Oh, for those of you who are wondering, we were talking about a few streams ago. We were talking about me building workbench. All the parts have arrived. The two calyxes have arrived. The casters have arrived. Everything's here, and I'm gonna be making a video on it. So the whole thing should come to about like $200, $250 total, if I'm lucky. Because the two calyxes were 50. Oh, hey, One Solid Cube, how you doing? The two calyxes were 50 each, so 100. I'm not going to count the delivery charge because that always changes, depending on where you are. The two sheets of plywood that I need are 35 each, so that brings everything to 170. And then the casters are about 30. So I should have a pretty good caster-sized workbench ready to go in about a week's time, if I have enough time to actually build it and do everything I need with it. Awesome. Perfect. So, the next bit is a little bit finicky at the moment. Bright, who is doing the manual, has kind of talked me through a way that he did it that apparently worked. And what I'm talking about is I'm talking about the alignment of the rail carriages. So Hans, you don't need to do this step because you're building Miley.
Good.
Yeah. But we need to do it because this is the easiest way to do it on Milo. And you only technically need to do 2 carriages out of the whole thing. You only technically need to do these steps on 2 of the carriages. The more carriages you do them on, however, the more likely you are to get good results from it. But I'm going to show it the 1 carriage method this time. I'm going to show the 1 carriage method this time because that way people can see the minimum amount of effort that you would need to put in to get this working. So the whole idea of this is you're using pins as reference points. Using pins as reference points alongside the features that are built in to the XY plate to align and tram the X and Y rails to each other. So the way we do this is we're going to go quickly about and we're just going to install all the rail carriages that we need for both X and Y first. Just loosely. They don't need to be very tight. They're just being installed loosely for now. So I've got my box from last time where we took all the rail carriages off. And if you were building Miley, you would only be doing this. You would only be putting the carriages on the side where the Y-axis is going to attach to. And then when you're attaching the X-axis, you'd be using the counter bore holes, so the 4 counter bore holes, to attach the extrusions directly to this plate. What's on a cube? What have you been up to today, bud? How are you doing? All the other stuff that a therapist would ask you. If I had one. Right, so this is the Y side. We're going to do the Y side first. And I remember when I wrote on the carriages which rails they were part of. I'm just going to get my Y-axis just so I can reference off of them. Right? And remember I said before, you want the letters that you wrote on them to match up. So R is on this side, for example, and Y is on this side. But you also want to make sure that the numbers are in the correct order. So I did R on this side. So I'm going to set R1 to be the carriage that's going to come next, and then R2 is going to be the carriage behind it, because that's the order that they were on the rails before. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch the first stream. Hey Cube, everything square? Oh, speaking of square, I know this sounds really weird, but I use a payment software called Square now. Would people be willing to get to do some Millennium Machines merch? Would people be willing to buy some? I've been thinking about it for a while, but things like t-shirts and hoodies, you know, the simple stuff, the same stuff the Voron team does. Nothing amazing, just like a t-shirt or a hoodie with the Millennium Machines logo on it, or just I like to go brr on it. Hey Steve!
You know what I would really buy?
What?
A Millennium Machines underwear.
Millie machines what?
That's amazing.
Millie machines what?
Underwear.
Oh, underwear. God, oh no.
Yeah.
No, I don't want my logo on people's junk. Chips go brr. Yeah. Probably yes. Okay, cool. Yeah. Because Square, you can do like dropship t-shirts. I don't want to have to deal with the Square company is just to deal with payments coming in from places. It's just to deal with payments coming in from everywhere. So, but if I can do sales of t-shirts as well through it, I might as well. I just don't want to hold any stock. So I should be able to do, I think it's called Print Labs or something like that through Square. Or Print Fab or something like that. Oh, brisket socks would be amazing. Brisket socks would be awesome. That's a great idea. Me, nothing, lots of YouTube. I need to rustle up some work. I'll log in tomorrow and see if there's anything. Third week, no work, hurting the savings. Oh man, what do you do? I feel that, bud. That's been most of my year. That has been most of my year. I will not lie to you.
I mean, I do have work. Like, I had it throughout the whole year, but I mean, the pay is not really that good.
Yeah. I'm still paying off some debts that I accrued through the year. That's what my life is at the moment.
Yeah.
But it's slow. I'm slowly getting through it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I just spent most of my paycheck on Milo.
How is Square? I was looking at it with my dad. For my dad, yeah, it's so easy. I've used Shopify, Odoo, and Square. And out of all of them, Square's has been the easiest. You can take payments from your phone. You can also buy a little card machine for like $20. And if you get if you get referred to Square by someone, they give you $20 free anyway. So you can buy that little card machine for free when you set it up. It can set apart. If you pay for the subscription for Square, it can do all your taxes and VAT for you automatically, so you can set it up to send to 2 separate bank accounts. So I use Monzo here in the UK, and it sends any VAT that I might end up having to pay, it sends to one account, and then anything else, all my profits get sent directly to me, and I can just access it. So I cannot recommend Square enough. I actually got told about it from a game store manager that I've been doing a bunch of mini printing for. Like, he just runs a cardstock shop.
I mean, I have it quite easy because I'm starting to run my Shopify store, but the tax part I don't actually need to really do anything with because I'm doing it through my parents' company, so I just send them the money and they stand back what's the profit.
I found Shopify really confusing because half of their tutorials that they have on their main website are for versions of Shopify that don't exist anymore. So
I'm not saying that I really looked at any tutorials, so I cannot comment on that.
Yeah. Square was the easiest one for me, by far. Odoo had too many apps for me. I'm not a business guy. I don't know what everything needs to be. But Square made it the easiest out of them all to understand. That's why we donate money to the project. And I so appreciate the fact that you do. In fact, let's take a minute. Right? Let's take a minute. Let's take a minute. How many minutes are we taking? All the minutes. How many minutes are we taking? All of it. We're taking all the minutes in Jormungand's timer. Right? Come here. You've come close. You've come close. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for all the support that you've given me this year, folks. Honestly, it has been absolutely amazing. The ability to get to this year and to not have had a job for most of it, despite the fact that the donations weren't the major amount of my income through that period of time, it did make life a lot easier, right? It did make life a lot easier, and it allowed me to continue to do a bunch of development whilst I was short on my own personal funds. So I do appreciate everything that everyone in this community has done for me. Alright? So, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. And back to your normally scheduled programming. Timer started. Yeah. So I can recommend Square for anyone. If anyone wants a referral link, just let me know. And that way you can at least get the hardware for free. Just DM me on Squarespace. Not Squarespace. Square and Squarespace are not the same thing. Just understand that. Awesome. So, now that has been sorted, we're going to do the actual tramming. Like I said, we're only going to do this on one of the rails, so I'm going to mark off which rail I'm doing this on, just so that I know. I'm going to mark it in an area that I can see even when the entire build is assembled. So I've just done a little silver marker. I'm going to choose this back left piece, right? So I'm going to need some dowel pins. 9 minutes and 18 seconds left. You're welcome, lol. Lol. I'm going to choose some dowel pieces. I'm going to stick them right up against both sides of that rail. Both sides of that rail. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to lightly tighten down. Lightly, so lightly. Imagine you're trying to grease up a pig. Some M5 countersunk screws. Now, the moment you start to feel even the slightest bit of pressure, stop. Now, what this does is it forces the cone shape of the countersunk bit to force that pin up against the side of the rail carriage. Right? And we're going to go around, and same thing as we did for when we were doing the AB nut, we're going to tighten in a star pattern. So pick one corner, start at that corner, go to the opposite corner, then go up, and go to the opposite corner again. I'm going to pick a star pattern, just like that, and lightly, 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 everything needs to be tightened up. If you have a ratcheting screwdriver, what I've seen in the past is that people turn it to the opposite direction to what you're trying to tighten it to. And the moment it starts to ratchet, so there, right, that's the amount of pressure that you need. Ekram, how you doing, bud? Have to hit the sack, have fun, and do stuff I wouldn't. Cheers, Jormungand. Honestly, it is the lightest amount of pressure that you need. Awesome. Now what this has done is it's used the cones of the countersunk bits, pressed the pins up against the side of the carriage, and the carriage is now tram. You then need to do the same thing on at least one carriage on the other side of the plate. but we'll do that later, obviously. Now, the way Bright has told me he's done this is instead of using the conical parts, instead of using the countersunk nuts on one side, he's used the shoulder bolts that are used for the Z-axis later on. So I'm going to give that a quick test and see what that feels like. And see if that will work just as well or not. I'm a civil engineer doing rail work, dried up, over-resourced, plus over-resourced. I need to do something else. Holiday was trying to build my channel, but it looks like it's broken. Near zero new engagement since 1st of September. Oh man! Are these all ball screws? No, these are the lead screws. You can put ball screws on, but I have a whole video on why I don't think, for Milo specifically, ball screws are a great idea. Unless you're doing something that Hans has done, which involves grinding hardened steel or machining hardened steel and possibly damaging other parts of your build.
Come on, it's not that bad. I mean, Milo wasn't struggling. My verse holding was because it was very sketchy, but we don't have all of that.
So yes, you can put ball screws on Milo. Unless you're going servos, I don't recommend them. The video I've made on the subject explains my whole stance on it. I don't think ball screws are a bad thing most of the time. Just for this specific application, no, I don't think they should be used. So for this specific application in its standard setup, I should say. Okay, I kind of see what he's getting at. I kind of see what Bright's getting at with these. Okay. I will let Bright know that this is an acceptable method to do these. Awesome. So, once you've done your whatever method that you've chosen to do, whether or not you use just the countersunk screws or whether or not you use the shoulder bolts and the countersunk screws, the way that you ensure the tram happens is you tighten the nuts holding this carriage specifically down now. You make sure that they're tight. Leave the other three loose. For when we install them on the rails. The reason we do it this way is this way doesn't require any measurements. You can do it another way by installing a carriage on the rails and using an indicator to sweep across the rails. But a lot of people who are new to CNC don't know how to do that, so we don't advise it. Servos are getting cheaper, but they're not cheap enough. And they're a lot more finicky. Servos need a lot more tuning, and yes, there are self-touch tuning softwares out there, but the ones that come with cheap servos aren't great. And RepRap firmware doesn't really support servos very well. They support duet servos excellently. So maybe me saying that servos are too expensive is just one of the issues with servos. Let's say. Sometimes it's easy to say that there's only a single reason why I don't use one thing, when in actual fact there might be multiple reasons why I do something versus doing something else. There might be lots of different reasons. Right, I'm just going to make sure that these get all back in their own packets because I'm about to install everything onto the Y-axis. How are your prints going, Hans?
Oh, I'm screwing it together.
Oh, you're doing it now?
Hopefully this will work. Oh yeah.
Once I have it all set up and happy with Linux CNC. There we go. If you're doing Linux CNC, servers are a lot easier to set up. But then you also, that's relative because you have to work with Linux CNC. And everyone here knows my thoughts on Linux CNC. Linux CNC is a great firmware. It is absolutely amazing. It is not for the faint of heart, though. It is not for the faint of heart. If you are not technically, if you struggle to install Clipper, if you have ever struggled to install Clipper, forget about Linux CNC. If you want printing services, check out Vermont Green Printing. The guy John was very helpful. They do Gamers Nexus, Pulse Hardware, merchandise. The shirts they do for GN look quite nice. Unfortunately, I'm not in the States, so that would probably be a no on my end. And they probably won't. They probably don't integrate directly in with Square. And the whole point is I don't want to have stock. I want an order to go through on Square, and then I want an order to go through on Square, and it be sent out from the manufacturer directly from there. I don't have to want to deal with any of the passing of the parcels. Ooh, there's a pin here. Let's take out. I've got Clipper on installed on all my printers. Yeah, I mean, I have Clipper on installed on. Well, technically, the Elegoo runs on Clipper. They just don't want to admit it. The whole thing with the Centauri Carbon is dumb. Like, if you're using Clipper, just say you're using Clipper. Like, what is it with companies saying, like, reskinning Clipper and then not releasing the files for it? It's so simple. It doesn't even affect you. It doesn't affect them in any way whatsoever to release files. Just fucking release them.
By the way, for Milo applications, I think you can get pretty close to servo speeds with 12-10 ball screws and strong steppers. So there is that also.
Yeah, but you're using 12-10 ball screws. That's cheating.
I swear it's not that hard to machine them on Milo. I mean, you should have seen my work holding. I was praying that it holds.
Yeah.
And Milo wasn't even struggling with it. You just need a really small anvil, so you hit the optimal speeds. Because, like, it didn't even spark once on me. Milo didn't really chatter, so.
That's fair. You're getting good results, I thought. The whole thing with servos is you're just looking for torque at a higher RPM, and you can increase your voltage to make the torque drop off further on in the RPM range of the steppers. But like, I run 55 volts. I look behind where my Casa used to be. I run 55 volts on my Milo V2 for a long time, and the ball screws just didn't keep up. Awesome. So I'm going to slide the whole assembly on now. Right. I'm going to first of all, I'm going to tighten the side that has the reference carriage on. I'm going to tighten it down first. Right, so the reference carriage is going to be on this side? Yeah. The reference carriage is on the Y rail. I'm going to tighten this one up first. Now for rails, it's always good to tighten from one side to the other. That way you're not getting any bow introduced into the rails themselves. Or any bow that is there will work its way out one side of the rail. It's like Orca flashboard. But the thing is, everyone knows Orca is a slicing software. Like, everyone knows Orca is Orca. Right? What Elegoo did was they decided to use Clipper and then tell everyone that it wasn't Clipper. That's the big difference here. They used Clipper, put a skin on it, told everyone that it was their own firmware and not based on anyone else's work, which is in clear violation of the Clipper license. And then they got caught out by the community because we're a bunch of nerds as a community, which is awesome, and still haven't done anything about it. Right, so be very delicate with this part. Oh, one step I forgot. I forgot to actually install the floating bearing block. So we're just going to do that real quick. I need some M5 peanuts, just 2 of them. And then I know for this piece in particular, you need M5 by 12 long nuts, screws for it. And that just installs pretty simply, drop in the C. Where is my screwdriver? Where's my M5 screwdriver gone? I don't know where my screwdriver's gone, but I have an Allen key. Now that Atlas is becoming a thing, and we've got kind of a we're finalizing the rough idea for the frame for it. My mind's going back to the polar position CNC machine I want to make. So Hans, what do you think about this? Have you ever seen a polar 3D printer?
Your voice got really laggy. What did you say? Polar what?
Have you ever seen a polar 3D printer?
No.
So a polar 3D printer has the x-axis that moves across, right? Like any other 3D printer. But instead of having a y-axis, its third axis is a rotational one. So if have a look on YouTube. Everyone have a look on YouTube and see what a polar 3D printer looks like for me. Right? And the whole idea is you can translate a Cartesian motion plane into 2 Cartesian linear axes and 1 rotational axis.
Oh, I see.
Imagine that, but instead of a cantilevered one, it's supported on both sides. Imagine that as a CNC.
That sounds interesting.
How do you tighten the lead screw to the stepper motor coupler? There is a little cutout for it. There's a little cutout just here. Cool. So I've had this like brainiac idea for so long to do a polar CNC, and in some ways it's a really good idea, in some ways it's a really bad idea. I'm in Australia and could help, but said something easier if I did here in hats. One solid cube. I think you're really lagging behind because I said that like 15 minutes ago. I answered you like 15 minutes ago. So maybe try and give the stream a quick update. Anyone claim that column of V1 should be stronger than the V2? Is that right? Yeah, I did that. I claimed that. Technically, yes. Technically, yes, because there's a solid mechanical link between the x-axis and the y-axis and the z-axis. Whereas on V2, there's a bunch of interface layers in between them. But that said, it's a lot harder. He might not be live. How does that work? Is he watching from the future? Right, I got distracted. That said, it's a lot harder to tram the V1.5 / V1.6 column than it is to do everything else. You don't have super chats because I'm on mobile. I was writing it out and checked the email of what he said. Oh, it's all right. I don't have super chats because my channel isn't monetized yet. The channel is not monetized yet. That's the reference one, so I'm just going to loosen this one up here. We need to reach 3,000 watch hours, which we don't get. We're at 2,000 something, and I don't think we'll get it by the end of the year, so it'll be a restart for next year. William R. I wish I knew how to get YouTube to actually notify me when people go live. This is why I always post it, because YouTube seems to do a really shitty job, especially for smaller channels, at actually notifying people that there is a stream. Oh, that's why it's not going forward, because I haven't lined up the lead screw with the bearing. There we go. I can pass all the way back now. Sweet. Nice, 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 nice.
I printed the plate with 100% info, and look at this.
Is it still bending?
Amazing. Oh yeah, and it's still acting like a ball screw. It really wants to cosplay that.
Oh my god. You heard him. Subscribe. Yeah, if you can shoot us a subscribe, it does help the channel out. The more people watch, the more watch hours we can get. We're only 1,000 watch hours away from becoming monetized. So there we go. The coupler is now tightened up. I've got greasy hands, so I'm just gonna cheat for a second. I'll grab some paper. Just make sure it is actually tight, because there are some people in the community who forget that you need to tighten these. Not naming any names. It's going to.
I'm really at the point of getting so frustrated with these little spring plates that I'm thinking about just like getting that x-axis 12 screw out of my 1.5 using that, because like.
So you know the AB nuts can still work in the same way that the V1.5 ones do. So if you're getting frustrated with them, leave the 4 compression screws in. Yeah. Forget about using them later on in the build. Forget about using them later on in the build. And just use them as they are now. And use them the same way you would on a V1.5, where you're mechanically compressing them and the screws are holding it all in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that is an option if you really are, if you can't get the conical washers, or the spring washers that you get if the LDO kit does come with spring washers. That is an option for you. You can just use I made a mistake.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to leave this little screws in, because yeah.
That's all. How you doing, bud?
Otherwise, I'm not going to finish them.
Is this a problem with the print or the part? Both. The print was the initial problem with it. The parts were kind of an issue. So LDO sent a bunch of spring washers. These are wave spring washers. So if you look at the side profile of them, there's a little wave to it. Right? And these aren't the ones that we spec. We spec conical washers. Unfortunately, I'm using all the conical washers that I have, so I can't show any of them. But they're kind of like a really squat cone. And the way reason we chose those is because the heat inserts, where they're placed, are in contact with the bottom edge of the conical washers. So Belleville disc springs, exactly. Belleville disc springs. They're the same thing. Conical washers, Belleville discs, they all work. They're all interchangeable names for the same thing. Right? We explained it earlier in the stream. They spread out the load a lot better, and they spread out the load over the entire radius of the washer. Whereas a disc spring, a wave spring, will only spread out the force in the two tiny spots where it makes contact, where the wave makes contact. And that can be an issue. And since we got them, since I've installed them, a lot of the wave springs that came with the LDO test kit have just flattened out entirely. So there's no wave to them anymore. These are just washers now. Heck yeah, let's DIY bot farm this sitch. No. If there's one thing I don't want to do, I don't want to cause issues. Right, I made a mistake. I was meant to do, when we set up the tramming with the 2 pins and the countersunk bolts, you should do that on 2 carriages, not just one. You should do it on the the 2 front carriages or the 2 back carriages, right? So that there's one that's on each rail. I'm just gonna jimmy it for now and get it to work, but we'll do it properly on the top piece when we do the x-axis.
So, Jake, by the way, now that I have sort of finished the lead screws, what's the next step? What did I miss?
Okay, so install. So identify which is the top part and which is the bottom part. The bottom part has the countersinks facing downwards for the AB nut. Okay. Hey, we could just go to subscribe. Thanks, William. That's the first time. Well, it's not the first time, but it's one of the first times we've got someone subscribe actually live on stream. So, have you?
Is this the bottom?
Have you seen the countersunks that are for Miley? So the big countersinks that are on the outside of the plate, between 4 of the smaller ones.
Yeah.
Right. Have a look at stream. Have a look at the stream.
Okay.
I'll get Fusion up.
It's a bit behind, so.
It's all right. You'll catch up. Let me just make some space for my keyboard.
Oh yeah, I can see it now.
Cool. So for the Miley x-axis, you're attaching it, not using these, so you're just getting completely rid of these ones. You're not going to install them in the same way. So those carriages you just ignore them, right? You need to get it so that these holes here, right, where this bolt is, the countersinks need to be facing downwards. Yeah?
Okay. Understood.
Yeah? So that's the bottom. The side that has the countersinks is the bottom. The side that has that just has the bare hole is the top.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah? Cool. So, you'll need to get two pins, or 4 pins total, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you're going to stick them right up against the carriage, and you're going to install the carriage very, very loosely, like extremely loosely. So just so that it's not going to fall out, but that it can still move around a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah? So just do that. Just do all 4 carriages fairly loosely for now. And we'll get back to it when...
Alright. Yeah.
I've been wielding a presidency for a year or so now, but last week I traded someone 200 for their Milo who won 5-0. So I'm trying to jump in with both feet. Nice, dude. What made you not want to do to finish the presidency? I like the presidency. I think the presidency is the next best CNC project after us, of course. But that I'm a bit biased on that one, perhaps.
I mean, before I built Milo, I was looking at the presidency too, so I did choose Milo over that.
I do like the presidency. I really enjoy the presidency. It's a great design. The guy who made it is really, really nice. The thing that I don't like about it is just the style. It's a router at the end of the day. It's not a mill, it's a router. It's a CNC router. Yes, it can do metal, but I have a really big issue with CNC machines that use double ball screws at the end of a thin piece of tube. Right? Because the racking on that is going to happen over time. It's going to rack, it's going to come out of tram along the X and Y, just naturally. Well, now it's going to be a printed CD with aluminum bits instead of 3D printed parts. Nice! So you're going to use the Milo to do the CNC parts for the printed CD. Yes, Hans, sorry.
For the little carriages, should I use the FHC M3 screws? The M3 times 6?
It should just be M3 by 10s.
Oh, M3 by 10s? Okay.
To attach the carriages to the plate themselves, yeah, M3 by 10s.
Okay.
This isn't. You're just talking about the ones that attach to the carriages to the plates, yeah? You're not talking about the ones that.
Yeah. Basically, the one that holds the carriage there.
Yeah. Right, I'm going to need a drill for this bit. Just to run the axis up and down.
Oh no. My hex key is like literally full of grease. Jesus.
How's the software for this? Is it Clipper? Do you have stuff around it like I've seen Steve Fields do on stream? Can you set up hard with Flash and use? Yes. Yeah. We've been over the software for like over a year now. Moss has been out for a while now. Moss works. So it all runs on RepRap firmware. RepRap firmware has been around longer than Clipper has. It's just that Clipper was cheaper at the time and it runs on pretty much every MCU, whereas RRF was specific for a while to do out hardware. But a lot of hardware came out that is now compatible with. Sylar, for example, is one of them. We designed Sylar alongside Big Tree Tech, specifically for Milo. Don't let RatRig tell you that they did it themselves. No, they didn't. And Moss runs on top of RepRap firmware, and it does all the probing cycles and also does all the setup stuff. So all you need to do is install RepRap firmware, attach to the Wi-Fi, and then run the setup wizard, and then the setup wizard will walk you through all the steps, and it will work on any machine. It will work on, so long as it's running RepRap firmware, it will work on a Print-NC, it will work on a Shapeoko, so long as you're using the right, you've set it up properly, it'll work like that. And RetRap firmware lets you do a bunch of messing around with bits and pieces. So you can change a lot of the setup for it, if you so wish to. Right. Whilst I'm testing this, I've got my drill set to its lowest torque setting, so if it does start to bind anywhere, A, the drill's not going to torque out of my hand, and B, I can actually feel that it's binding rather than just powering through the bind. So those rails are now nice and parallel to each other, and the travel is nice and parallel. So I'm not feeling, it's not skipping anything. So I'm just going to tighten up the other rail, the other side of the rails. Yeah, Moss is a really easy install. You literally download some stuff onto an SD card, pop it in, connect to the Wi-Fi that the board produces, and if you want to get it to connect to your home Wi-Fi, you follow the settings that come up, the steps that come up. If you want it to connect to LAN, there is a LAN version of the little Wi-Fi module, so you can just connect it through that. It sets itself up effectively. You just have to follow the on-screen steps. Mile did a great job on Moss. How's your experience with Moss been, Hans?
It's amazing, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like it. Like, when I first built Milo, I had literally no experience with. Oh, there goes my light. Literally, like, no experience with any other like CNC controllers, and I didn't really feel like that it has been a challenge. Because like before that, I was just using 3D printers, so it felt pretty comfortable to do the switch from even just Orca Slicer to Moss. So it wasn't really that hard.
And the post-process was already made up for it as well, so...
Oh yeah. Yeah, like, my experience with 1.5 like, literally just works out of the box. I put it together, put Moss on it, and it just worked.
Yeah. It's an easy setup.
I'm not saying that I kept it that way, but when I did build it, like how you were supposed to, it worked. After that, when I started modifying it, I had some problems, but I hammered them out, so it's...
do you have any more search terms for Moss? It's M-O-S, not Moss, as in, it's not the planty thing. That sounds like the direction I want to go. Moss Clipper and Moss 9 Mile. 9 Mile is a person. His real name's Ben, but everyone calls him 9 Mile because that's his little pseudonym. Moss is M-O-S, and if you head to the website, you can get a firmware package for Milo. It's already set up, and it will ask you if you have a tool setter. If you have a tool setter, it will walk you through the process of jogging over to the tool setter and getting certain versions of it. The only thing you'll need to change if you want to put Moss on a print NC, the only thing you need to change is you need to go into one of the files and change it from the X being 350 millimeters to it being whatever size your machine is. The same with Y and the same with Z. Honestly, that is how easy it would be to put it on a print NC, and it would just work. There's also something called Arbor CTL, which 9 Mile is also working on, and that is basically a way for your VFD to be automatically programmed to work with Moss. But that's still in beta at the moment. So a lot of the hard stuff about CNC Project is trying to get through the manual for VFD, because the manuals for VFDs suck. They suck so hard. But luckily, the one from LDO comes pre-programmed, so you don't need to worry about that. At least pre-programmed most of the time.
Oh yeah, I remember my VFD wasn't pre-programmed, so it was a fun experience programming that.
Moss as in Isley. I have no idea what you mean by that. Honestly, I have no idea what Isley Moss is. MOS just stands for Millennium Operations System. Not operating system, operations system. It's basically a set of instructions that you need to turn RepRap firmware into CNC capable firmware. So it has all the probing macros already in there. It has the wizards for setup in there. It will contain all the fourth axis stuff. There's a load of macros in there, things like drill can cycles, sorry, not drill can cycles. Ugh. Awesome. Now we get to play with thrust bearings. So first thing I'm going to install onto this screw at the front is I'm going to do a locking collar, then a thrust bearing, then the bearing lock, then another thrust bearing, and then another locking collar. But I need to find my locking collars. Hey Brent May, how you doing? Oh, Star Wars Mos Eisley. Oh, that went straight over my head. I thought Mos Eisley was a person. Now that makes so much more sense. That was an r/whoosh moment.
I love it so much when my cat just literally lies behind me and then like I accidentally step on his tail and he's like, "Why did you step on my tail?"
Hey, you should be better. You should be more informed about where your feet are. Maybe he's a Trekkie.
Oh, yeah,
I am.
shouldn't be moving as well.
I am a Trekkie actually. I've watched Next Generation like 3 times now, and I've also watched Deep Space Nine like 7 times, because Deep Space Nine is the best of all the Star Treks. Voyager wasn't as bad as most people said it was going to be. Voyager wasn't that bad. I'm on my first TNG watch right now. Nice, dude. What season are you on? Have they all changed roles yet? I still watch the odd Voyager episode. Voyager episodes were a return to normal Star Trek. They were a return to normal Star Trek, because you had Deep Space Nine, which was more like a serialized drama. Because if you don't know, like a lot of the Star Trek episodes were meant to be viewed as kind of an event of the week type format. You weren't meant to watch. It wasn't a recurring storyline that happened throughout most of them. That was how it was for TNG, and also the original series. Voyager had a bit of an ongoing storyline, but Deep Space Nine was pretty much, you had to watch a few episodes before. Season 1, episode 7. Oh, season 1 of TNG is rough. Stick with it. There's a phenomenon in the Trekkie world, which is called growing the beard. So every time the main character, one of the main characters from the series, grows a beard, the quality of the show gets a whole lot better. So Cisco in Deep Space Nine, once he gets the beard, everything gets better, and he actually becomes a badass. When Geordi and Riker get beards, not so much when Geordi gets one, but when Riker gets his beard, TNG gets a lot better. I didn't like the end of DS9 when Cisco became Space Chief. Yeah, well. They focused a lot on the religious aspect of DS9. So I can see where they were going with it. But it was kind of like an anti-Dune. Because the whole point of Dune is it's a warning against messiahs. You should never trust messiahs because they're just manipulating you. At the end of DS9, he becomes the messiah, technically. And everyone loves him for it. And there's actually no bad intent around it. He becomes Space Jesus, and then that's it. The weird thing is, when I first watched DS9, I didn't realize the last episode was the last episode. It just came out of nowhere. There was no build-up to it. There was no second part to it. It was just, bam! Okay, your favorite show's finished now. The show you've been watching for like a month or two is now done. I wanted to see Picard, but I haven't. I like the first season of Picard. I haven't watched the second season, but I heard it's not great. I've heard criticisms about it being too woke, but if you've ever watched Star Trek, you know it is the wokest show on the planet. If you don't like woke, if you're an American Republican, if you don't like anything woke, don't watch any of the Star Treks. Because they deal with topics that are antithetical to the views of most most Republicans. And if you think Picard is bad, watch the rest of TNG. There are episodes of TNG where it would make most diehard Republicans, have a heart attack or a stroke. How you doing, Hans?
I'm putting on the last carriage, so pretty good.
Cool.
I mean, it's a bit faster after I given up on the lead screw.
You're gonna need the lead screw for this next part, you know that, right?
Yeah, but I took the cameras. Yeah, but I just set the tension with the screw and just left it there.
Okay. Right. When you're
should
tightening,
be fine enough.
Yeah. Once you've installed all the bearings on the bearing block, you need to make sure that it's tightened in both directions. The way I do this, I normally take my thumb, my two front fingers go into the C-beam itself, and press on the collar on that side, and my thumb presses up on the collar on the outside. And I want to make sure that there's tension, and I'm pulling these two collars together as I tighten them down. If you don't do this, there'll be play in the axis, and every time you change directions, you'll get backlash. So the anti-backlash nuts will only work so long as the axis itself has no backlash in its movement. So long as the screw itself doesn't translate linearly. And you can give it a quick tug on both sides, and if you feel that it's in place, then tighten everything up.
By the way, Solid Cube, I'm from Hungary.
Strange New Worlds, is that the newest ones? Because there was Star Trek Discovery, which is a whole separate universe to the main the main universe where TNG and all that happens. It's like a completely side story. And then Strange New Worlds came after Discovery, but I'm not sure if they're linked in any way. I was hooked on TNG after the first episode where they made the point of saying bad shit happened in our past and we have to do better, and we are better for it. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. DS9 has a whole episode where all the characters go back to just the normal Earth as it is now. They go to LA, but in a few years' time, in like a century or two, you know, and it kind of, it's a really good storyline. I won't spoil it too much. It's a really good storyline. One of my favorite episodes.
By the way, Jack, now that I'm done with putting the carriages on, what should be my next step?
Awesome. So you need to find 4 pins. Yeah.
M6 or M5?
These are the M6 ones. It doesn't actually matter whether or not they're M6 or M5. It doesn't matter, but use the M6 ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. You got those, and then you'll need do Bright's method. So you'll need the 2 shoulder bolts.
What length?
There's only 2 shoulder bolts. There is only 1 length of them. And then you'll need 2 of the 12mm long countersunk screws, the M5 ones. M5 countersunk 12mm long. Put this on the floor and show you on stream.
Oh yeah, thanks, Tim.
Yeah. So on one side, you're going to put the shoulder bolts. The CAD doesn't show it, but I'll update the CAD eventually. Yeah. So screw the shoulder bolts all the way in on one side. So where these 2 are here, use the shoulder bolts instead. And make sure that pin's installed before you tighten anything down, because otherwise you won't be able to get the pin in.
Okay.
I died when Red Dwarf did the same going to the present day bit. I've never watched Red Dwarf because they brought Red Dwarf back, didn't they? I'm pretty sure there's new episodes of Red Dwarf, or newer episodes of Red Dwarf. Awesome. And then on the other side hands, you need to put the pin in, and then you're going to put 2 of the countersunk bolts in on that side.
Oh, okay.
And very lightly, one after the other, you're going to tighten them up until they can't go, but very lightly. Like, don't even try and put any real amount of pressure on them. Yeah?
Mm-hmm. Alright.
Almost like you're holding a pencil. You're just trying to twist the pencil around. They're the Black Lady from Walking Dead, Michonne, as main character in one. It was a reimagining that was kind of okay till they swore. Then I turned it off. TNG was the best character design, like Klingons. Yeah, I agree. Was that? Yeah, I know. I get what you mean. You mean original Klingons were just people? Yeah, yeah, it was. They were just normal people, and then they tried to fix it lore-wise, and they just said that everyone at that time had some kind of virus that turned the Klingons into normal people, and then they got cured suddenly from the virus. There's a real weird one. Red Dwarf is one of my favorites. I haven't seen them though. I want to watch them. It's a British classic, I know that. All you need to know about Red Dwarf is it's about a normal human being, a space vampire, a cyborg, and a robot. That's all you really need to know about it. And it's a British comedy. And the words space vampire are very important here. I tried to rewatch Red Dwarf, but I just can't. I guess I left my Hitchhiker's Guide days behind me. Is Red Dwarf part of Hitchhiker's Guide? Is it part of that universe? I didn't think it was. But I get, if it's just thematically you mean, yeah, I get what you mean. Cat's a cat, not a vampire. Oh, fair enough. He's a space cat. I thought he was a vampire this whole time, because I've watched shorts for it. The shorts are quite good. Now you have the Y rails done, you're removing the pins for use. I removed the pins when I tightened that carriage down. So you tighten them down, you use the pins, you get it all tight, you then tighten the carriage down itself, and you remove the pins. One of the pins gets reused later for the tool setter. The rest you can use for, like, they come in handy when you're doing fixturing and stuff like that. So you can always use fixturing. Unfortunately, they're some of the only parts I couldn't reuse all of them. The Star Trek original remastered was great, as they did subtle stuff to make it better. Fair enough. No, same kind of vibe. I can understand that. Silly stuff is great every now and again. Silly stuff is great every now and again. But watching Looney Tunes is great. Living a Looney Tunes life, or constantly being shown a Looney Tunes life, can be painfully irritating after a while. It's why I like the odd Terry Pratchett book every now and again. Right? It's mostly the kind of Night Watch stuff, but I can't get into or follow every single Terry Pratchett book like everyone seems to do. It's 5 AM, I need sleep, have fun, I'll get to watch tomorrow. No worries, dude. Cheers, solid. Nihilistic humor lost a lot of its charm after I had kids. Okay. My parents would say the exact opposite. They got more nihilistic after they had us. Right, how are you doing, Hans?
Oh, Jake, by the way. Oh yeah, I tightened the shoulder bolts down completely, and I just barely tightened down the other bolts. That's the way I'm supposed to do it, yeah?
Yep. Now, you tighten all the bolts that are attached to that carriage. Yeah. And then after that, you take everything off.
Okay.
Right. Whilst you're doing that, I'll get back to this. And you want to do that on both the front carriages.
Okay. So wait, only 2 carriages?
Only 2 carriages need. I spoke wrong earlier. I said you only need to do it on 1 carriage on each side. You need to do it on at least 2 carriages on both sides. Otherwise, you end up with the issue I had. Luckily, I managed to fix it. where the other rail is completely loose, and when you tighten that rail up, it could bind. I managed to get away with it, but Red Dwarf, Rimmer was punished for bringing a cap on board by being put in suspended animation, which wound up lasting for 3 million years. Okay, that's fair. Go ahead. You were saying, Hans?
Yeah, I only wanted to ask. So I should do on all carriages or only 2?
Only 2.
Okay.
So if you were doing Miley, it would be 2 on the bottom, 2 on the top. If you're doing Milo, it's 2 on the bottom, 2 on the top. If you're doing Miley, you just need to do the 2 bottom ones. And that just ensures that the rails are parallel to each other. Whilst you're doing that, I'll put the hold downs on. Now there are a few steps that I've kind of glossed over whilst I've been doing the assembly. A couple of them have to do with magnets. It will be in the assembly manual, but there's a magnet that goes on here and a magnet that goes on the rear hold down part, but I'll do that another time. Oh, I missed a step. I missed a step. This is what happens when you don't have a manual. This is what happens when you don't have a manual. This is what happens when you're an idiot. And I, unfortunately, am an idiot. Whilst you're there, don't forget to add the little magnetic anchor for... don't do what I did and forget to put the little magnetic anchor point on for the way covers. I completely forgot about the way covers. D1 and D2 hold downs for magnets. Yes, exactly. What he said. I've seen a few differences between to Miley, but not much that explains the difference between the two. Shares the same Y-axis, shares the same Z-axis, but Miley, instead of having the whole table move left and right, it only has the fixture plate move left and right. That's why on the fixture plates for both machines, they have some extra holes on them for the carriages. So you're attaching the carriages directly to this plate, right? And the plate moves whilst the table stays. In terms of practicality, Milo has more dead zones, so if you want to add accessories to it, you can add more accessories without eating into as much of the area, of the actual work area, but it means you need a larger space to operate it in, because the whole table swings left and right. For Miley, instead of having 350 millimeters in X, which Milo has, you only get 310 millimeters in X. And routing cables and things to accessories on a plate becomes a little bit more difficult, but in return, your casa, so your enclosure that you put it in, can be 200 millimeters shorter in the X direction. Which, trust me, if you have a small space, is a lot. It's also technically stiffer, but the Z-axis is the bottleneck in that case, and in both cases, so increasing the stiffness of the X and Y is not really going to do much. I can't believe I've forgotten to do this. This is going to be such a pain to get back on. It has been a year since I built any Milos, any V2s, so I'm going to forget things, and this is one of those things. Not having a manual slows things down. Who would have thought? Although we are...
I'm not the only one forgetting stuff. I'm forgetting to print parts. You forget to install stuff. So.
yeah, but at least I can. At least I have the parts, so I can fix it on stream. That's the difference, Hans. If you don't have the parts, you have to print them and stand there and look pretty. Which you do very well, but I mean, still.
I mean, I can play with my cat, so that is that.
This is true. This is fair. Whilst we're on the topic of entertainment, I watched Bridge Over the River Kwai for the first time yesterday. It's an epic movie. It's great. I genuinely thought it was a real story, though, until I looked it up, and it was just based off of a book that wasn't based off of anything real. All the characters are made up, but it's an epic movie. It's honestly so good. Right, how am I going to do this? Quite an old movie, for those of you who might want to be looking into it. It's a very old movie. I'm going to have to take this whole assembly off, aren't I? I hate my life sometimes. Stupid ADHD brain, forgetting things.
Yeah, I mean, I have my parts for my Trust and Boss crew build, so I can finish it up like anytime. But I'm just, I really don't want to take it apart again. It's just.
Building stuff is great. Fixing stuff sucks.
Yeah.
Especially when you've used it for a while. Especially when you've used something for a while and it's covered in grease, grime, and chips.
Yeah. I'm not really looking forward to taking it apart. Especially because, like, my kind of design is not that really smooth to, build it together. I mean, it works, but the build experience is not really there.
Oh, and William, with Miley and Milo, you can build both of them from the same kit. They use the same bill of materials. Only difference is a belt and a pulley. And obviously the printed parts, but the printed parts are going to change.
By the way, Jake.
Mm-hmm.
For Miley,
mm-hmm.
The accent plates, are those different than Milo?
The accent parts? No. Did I mark that as accent? I don't think I marked that as accent. Did I? Did I mark the motor mount as an accent piece? You've got the...
I don't know, I was printing from the model.
You've got Milo motor mount there. Yeah, that's the Milo motor mount, not the Miley one.
Okay. I mean...
You gotta reprint those.
Yep.
The person I bought it from only just had it spin once and packed it away. It's never been ran. He just wanted to build it. I'm wondering if I'll find it. You might do. Depends on how well he assembled it. If anyone's wondering why I messed up, this bit here is meant to go. It's meant to attach underneath the plate, and I just need the clearance to get the screws through. And this reuses the screws from when you're assembling the pins. And this is what the magnetic wave cover is attached to. Also, William, you're building a V1.5. The V1.5 doesn't have a Miley version. Miley is a V2 onwards thing. The V1.5 is very different to the V2. Oh, my earphones are low on battery. The printer is on overtime. And read the names that are on the files. It literally says Milo on the files. It doesn't say Miley on them. The Miley parts have Miley in front of them.
I mean, just to save my stuff, I did print the motor mounts like 2 months before now, so I didn't know yet that I was going to make Miley.
Even then, they were marked with Miley or Milo.
Yeah, but I didn't know that I was going to build a Miley, so.
Oh, okay. Okay, that makes more sense. Yeah, if you didn't know they were going to be building, if you want to build a Milo, go ahead. Feel free to.
I mean, it's okay. I'll reprint them. I still have my purple ABS for it, so at least I'm going to use it for something.
To be fair, because you've used a bunch of just leftover spools anyway, you could get away with any colors. You wouldn't be able. It doesn't just have to be purple.
Come on, like, I mean, yeah, I did use like my polycarbonate spools for the plate covers and have some triple colored like fold downs, but most of the stuff is like black and purple, so it kind of got like a scheme going.
That's fair.
I mean, let's say it has like a landfill color scheme, like some pieces are this, some pieces are that.
Oh, I'm an idiot. It's okay. This can be fixed. This can be fixed. So, you know the rear two carriages?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know how there's 3 countersunk holes there? Those are because this plate is also backported to V1.6. And the carriages are in slightly different locations. So, you're using... So, if you're counting from the front of the machine backwards, goes 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
You're using the second countersunk holes, and then you're using longer screws and using this part here on that back carriage. So you might need to move that carriage backwards. So many things I forgot I did on this build because it's been so long since I actually finished the designs on V2. It's just taking so long.
Should I be using these inner holes here?
So yeah, so there's 3 countersunks there, 6 right next to each other, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You're using... I'll show you, I'll bring the cat up. Okay. Cool. So, here's the plate. I had one screw in there, one screw in here, and one screw in there. That's for if you're building a V1.6. Your front bolts, so the ones that go into the front of the carriage, need to go into this second hole, and then the rear bolts go through a printed part, and then all the way through the bottom. And that's how the rear way cover attaches. So you just need to move your carriages back one set of holes, which is what I'm going to do. I forgot that was how it was set up. It does. First thing I did was delete the Miley prints from the list, so I didn't do the same thing. Fair. Did you do the same with the Voron versus CNC kitchen parts? Because there's a lot of those that are that have crossover. That can be quite confusing. Luckily, this part isn't too hard of a fix. I really just want to get the Y-axis done today. I just want to get the Y-axis done so that next stream I can move on to the X-axis. Next stream is going to be a lot quicker of a stream. It's probably just going to be a solo stream, and then that caught me out reprinting as I type. Oh no! Sorry, bud. Yeah, next stream, I just want to get the X-axis done and dusted, and Hans, you'll just have to watch it and catch up, or I can show you off stream, and then we'll do the Z-axis together again. Just because LDO is waiting on us to get this done, so it kind of needs to get done.
Yeah.
And the longer we take getting this done and getting the feedback to LDO, the longer it takes for kits to get out to people.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, UPS didn't help us with the speed.
Yeah. If you're Straw Dog, if you're waiting for the LDO kit, they use Voron inserts. The LDO kit will definitely be coming with Voron-sized inserts, for anyone wondering. They've already shipped Jose. We already got the tracking labels and numbers for them. I've already done one of those on stream, so I will get it all built up off stream and report back as quickly as I can. Because honestly, it's not a brilliant thing to stream. It's a really boring build. Half the build to do. It's basically just a box, and you put stuff in the box. Oh, speaking of just a box, did anyone catch the Voron PC build that Mandic did? That thing's awesome, and it's got me thinking of maybe doing like either a Casa style one or doing a Voron style doghouse for brisket. Crate / doghouse. I did too, but won't actually be on the road until they come back. Right. my earphones are about to die, which means I'm going to stop being able to actually talk to people. So I'm going to end stream here, if that's okay with you, Hans. I'll answer a couple last questions. Do you happen to know offhand if FreeCAD post-processor works with the current version of FreeCAD? The notes in the wiki talk about the real Thunder branch, which doesn't seem to exist anymore. I don't know. All I know is people who tend to use FreeCAD tend to really struggle with it on any CNC. So I would avoid FreeCAD at all costs, to be honest. There is a free version of Fusion, which you can still do 3-axis and 3+1 axis. If you want to, just use Fusion. It's the easiest, it's the one that the community uses the most, and it's the one that has the best feature set. I'm Soundful Electronics, just need Jose to send me an early access present of a V2 Milo. Fair enough. Fair enough. Jose, do you know when pre-orders will be going? Right. So, I'm gonna wait for Jose to answer that one. But whilst we're waiting, thank you folks for coming to stream. It always makes my life so much easier to have you the amount of support that comes through every single week and every single time we stream. Having conversation with you guys is always a real boost to my day. It's always really nice to be able to talk about things I love and the things that we do on this channel. So thank you for coming. If you haven't subscribed, please feel free to do so. If you haven't liked, please feel free to do so. It makes the channel grow much faster. The faster we can grow, the faster we can get monetized and the more cool projects that we can do. So thank you for coming. I hope you guys all have a great week. And Hans, would you like to say anything before we go?
I just hope everyone has a good night. Bye, guys.
Bye, folks. And we'll see you all probably on Thursday. Bye, guys.